So recently while I was outside, I heard some squealing and I saw Chippy had something in her mouth and she was shaking it. It turned out to be a little cottontail baby rabbit. I tried to save it, but it died. When I searched the area, what happened was in our newly formed container garden, a mother rabbit decided to make a nest and raise her young in our container garden. When I started unearthing the nest, I found 6 other rabbits. So, being freaked out and worried for these rabbits, I decided to move their nest into a different container right next to it, hoping the mother would just swoop in and carry them off to a better location. I mean, I didn't do any research, I was just thinking I needed to do that now. Although looking back, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have moved the nest at all. Anyways, we changed up that area so much that when I took some time-lapse video of that area, I saw that the mother rabbit just kind of walked around, went up to the container garden, but didn't even look in the new container. Since then, she hasn't returned. I took more time-lapse video, nothing. She's gone. She's totally abandoned her kids. Maybe because she couldn't find them, or maybe she just didn't like how everything had changed in that area. The second day when I looked at them, they were severely dehydrated. Their hip bones were sticking out. I knew I needed to do something. I looked up wildlife rescues in my area, which there are none. And then I did research on how to feed them. And so let me show you what I'm feeding them. This is just from one website I read and everyone disagrees. There's no set formula for cottontails because nothing can match the mother rabbit's milk. But this is like the best substitute for it. So you have kitten milk replacement, or KMR. Add 1 part of this. It comes with this red cup, so I use the small cup. 2 parts of hot water, then mix it together. And then I add, just because I thought this would help, I added Vitadrops. They're high potency multivitamins for rabbits. And then because I didn't have the Zoologic 3055, we're gonna do a substitute, which is heavy whipping cream, and that should add more fat to the formula because rabbit's milk is high in fat. I have this here. Right before I feed them, I heat it up for 10 seconds in the microwave, and then I just make sure to stir it around so there's no hot spots in it. I also have just a big jar of water that I use to rinse out the eyedropper between every rabbit. And then I have another container where I just spit out any unused formula. The eyedropper I'm using, because the mouth was so big, I added a little nozzle so I can easily stick this nozzle into the rabbit's mouth and feed it, and they seem to like it a lot. I've been doing this for the last 3 days as I have a system down. I have a rag to hold them. I have a box with alfalfa hay so I can separate them out. They should eat about 1 cc of formula, or less or more.
That's where the crime happened?
Oh yeah, that's the blood spot. It's not gone away yet. So there's all 6 of them. I fully expect them all to die, but I'm doing my best. With wild rabbits, they go downhill pretty quickly if they get sick. Now this is the runt of the litter, and he's the most wiliest. The one that has the most flight in him, meaning he wants to escape. It's helpful if you try to keep their eyes closed. And I just kind of dab a little bit on their lips, just to give them a scent, the taste of it. Then I go in from this, like the center, like the side, I kind of push like that way. And then I go behind his incisors and then I just put enough in his mouth where I could see it come out like that. I know he's drinking it. And that honestly took 2.5 days of me feeding them for them to finally get it. Sometimes it takes them like a full 2 minutes to swallow the milk. And sometimes they don't show any signs of swallowing it. You should feed them 3 to 4 times a day, every 3 to 4 hours. You feed them as much as they want, as long as they're enthusiastic about eating. If there's a little bit left and they're starting to struggle in my hands, I stop them from feeding. You don't want to overfeed them. There's a lot of horror stories about overfeeding rabbits. I'm not an expert, but this is just my experience so far doing it.
You kind of are an expert, yeah, the animal science major.
I'm not an expert at raising rabbits. This guy was kind of unresponsive when I fed him. Usually they'll move their mouth like this. They'll do that and they'll kind of lick their lips a little bit. He's just kind of like not doing anything. Could be because I'm outside and I'm not in the garage like I usually do. Put them in my hand like so. See, and then they'll kind of, see? And then I usually just cover them because they don't like being seen. But I'm gonna transfer everything to the garage. I think they'll be better. So I just got done feeding them. I was right about the one rabbit being unresponsive because of all the new things around him. They're so frozen in fear that they just don't move. And when they do swallow the milk, you can't even see it. The best thing to do with these rabbits, since they're prey species, is just to move very slowly. Just really slowly to not scare them. I should have about 1 more week of feeding them, and then they should be weaned off of the formula. So it's been 1 entire week since I've been feeding these rabbits, and I'm amazed they're still alive. Midway through, I was like, wow, they're growing up. I should make sure I cover all my bases. I should make sure I'm feeding them correctly. And one of the things I discovered was I wasn't feeding the correct ratio for the formula, because the ratio I was using was, if you're using zoologic and I just substitute heavy whipping cream, the actual formula to use is less heavy whipping cream. So they got a really fatty diet at the very beginning and a less fatty diet later on. So let me just show you what the correct ratio is. So we have 3 teaspoons of KMR, our kitten milk replacement, 3 to 4 parts of previously boiled water. Just mix it up with a chopstick. While I'm doing that, I have about 4 drops of this Vita drops, and this is just my addition. If they don't need it, they can just pee it out just like we do. And the very last part is 1 part of heavy whipping cream, and then just mix that in. One of the biggest ways for those cottontails to die is if they don't have the right bacteria in their gut. Because their guts when they're born is completely sterile, they get most of their antibodies and good bacteria from their mother. The best way, they say, to introduce good bacteria for the rabbit is to give them secatropes. And secatropes are mushy, really dark kind, and then you have the second feces. The dry, crumbly feces you don't want to give. You want to give them the moist, dark feces. Usually what rehabbers do is that they use a domestic rabbit, they collect the secatropes, and they feed just a little bit to the orphan. One way to introduce bacteria is using Benebac, which people are kind of, it's okay. It's not as good as secatropes, but it's better than nothing. I bought this at Petco for like $3. If you haven't done so, you should be doing this with your orphan rabbit, Benebac, or preferably secatropes. Another thing about the rabbits, I noticed that they were becoming more mobile. They were moving around. So I was like, you know what, I don't want to, but we should spend money and build a hutch. The hutch cost us in materials $50 and took about 3 to 4 hours to put together. And we built it a day late because I lost one of the rabbits. I can't find it. Hopefully it found its mother. The first thing you should do is make a hutch once you see that the ears are coming up and the eyes are opening. Also, in terms of feeding them, it was so difficult to feed them. Up to 2 weeks of age, they were slow, they were scared of me, they wouldn't move. Now that they're about 1 week old, oh my God, it's so easy to feed them. They're just like really greedy for food. And just so you know, some of them started nibbling on my syringe tip. And then today, one of them actually bit off the tip, and I don't know if he swallowed it or chewed it up into little pieces. Now my tip is shorter. This is what the tip looks like, way short. You should have it short when they start nibbling on the tip. Even though it's super easy to feed them, the drawback is that it's so hard to catch them. They are so jumpy that I was afraid that I would lose them. So now I have to bring them inside into my bathroom and get them to feed there. I almost don't want to feed them anymore because it seems like they're ready to go, but they're not. They're still drinking milk very readily. Now I'm in the bathroom. Let me just show you how easy it is to feed them. Last day. Hi, buddies.
Run, guys, run. She's gonna get you.
Oh God, sorry. They're like fast now, man.
Yeah.
I haven't handled them since 4 days ago, maybe. So now they're just like way wild. Oh no! Did one come out?
No. Nope.
Oh my God, that was so close. Oh my God! They're like learning parkour.
Not quite high enough to jump out, just right to the rim.
No, it's that lip that's getting them. Sounds good. Oh my God, do you see what he's doing?
Jumping off the wall.
No.
There we go.
All right, and we're taking them to this park where you see a ton of cottontails. So I know cottontails do well here. I'm kind of sad. If you ever find a rabbit nest, I highly suggest you don't move it. This was a lot of work. I would have figured out another way. You wanna look inside?
And
hi, buddies.
they're gone. Yep. Yep.
You guys are free. This way or this way? Oh, There they go.
And they're gone.
There he goes. Oh, he's going. Oh, he's going. Oh, there's another one in here.
Yeah, dump them out.
Okay. Bye. I miss you.
What?
Bye. Because it's, sad. Bye.
Bye, rabbits.